Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a quick review of these awesome outdoor sunglasses. They're made by a company called Ombraz, and the cool idea about them is that they are completely armless. They have this string that lets you keep them on your face much better than normal sunglasses. So let's talk about their weaknesses, their strength, and if they're actually worth their price tag. Let's get to that. So first thing I wanted to say is that they come in many different styles. The style that I decided to go with is called Teton. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, Teton, black frames, and a dark gray polarized lenses, right? So they come in variety different colors. There's like a leopard print, there's different lenses, there's non-polarized ones, and there's gray polarized ones, and a couple other colors which all have their strengths and weaknesses. I went with the dark gray ones because they provide the most tint, so they're darkest out of all of them. Plus I want some polarization, which, if you don't know, is very good for water activities because it kind of gets rid of the little shimmer that you have on top of the water and lets you see a little bit deeper into the water. Plus it just gets rid of some other reflections while you're driving or doing other things. So let's talk about the main design thing of these. So they obviously don't come with any arms, right, compared to normal sunglasses. And what that does is it basically attaches, or they're attached completely all around. So when you put them on your face like this, you adjust it and they're supposed to stay on your face much better than normal sunglasses. They do take a little bit of getting used to because of this like really weird design on the back, but it's thought out quite well. There's two like little like rubber pieces that basically slide along on the rope, and that's how you adjust the size of them, right? So you can slide it in to make it a little bit longer, or you can slide them both separate ways to make it wider, right? So they can adjust and fit your head, whatever your head size is, right? So let's see, they're built is quite strong. It's they kind of obviously lay down flat so that you don't have to worry about these arms breaking off, right? Because even when you fold normal sunglasses, you still have this kind of movement over here, which is a little bit scary if you apply too much force, right? That's something you don't have to worry about with these because there's completely no arms. Yes, there's still a frame, and that frame is that does have like a little bit of a shape to it, but because they're made out of very strong plastic, they can just bend without causing any breaks or cracks, and they bend back to shape just as easily, right? So there's a little bit of creaking going on when you bend them a little side to side, but it's not too bad. I'm not sure if that really speaks of their quality of the plastic they're using or the way the lenses are attached to the frame, but I haven't had any problems with the lenses popping out yet. So I think they should survive quite a while. They also come with this really nice soft case, and again, because they lay down flat completely, you don't have to worry about the structure in the case, right? So the case is completely soft. We basically take it from this side and shove it into the case, and you have a nice carrying case that kind of conforms to the shape of the sunglasses, and you still have this loop obviously sticking out so you can kind of attach it to something, although the case might slide out with quite a bit of force, so you got to be aware of that to not lose the case if you're attaching these to a backpack or something like that. You just got to keep that in mind, basically. Yeah, as I mentioned before, they are pretty comfortable to wear over time. You need some time to adjust to the weird shape, and basically, like they kind of feel like normal sunglasses after a while, right? Because you still have the rope that goes kind of over your ears, right? And it just kind of meets over here underneath the bone. That's kind of where it sits, and just rests there, right? So they're not too bad. And they actually suggest to wear the sunglasses quite loosely, so you don't wear them too close to the face, just to basically allow some air movement between your eyes and the glasses, right? So they fog up much less that way, right? So that's pretty awesome. One really cool feature of these, or cool benefit of these sunglasses compared to normal sunglasses, is that you know how when you wear things like Ray-Ban, right, and you're doing some things, just going around your day, they keep sliding down your nose more and more and more, because obviously nothing is attaching them to each other or to your head from the back. So you kind of have to keep popping them back up. That's, you know, not something that you have to worry about with these guys, right? Because once you put them on, if you've figured out how tight you want to wear them and they kind of just sit comfortably on your ear, on your nose and your ears, and you just keep them in place, right? I mean, your head will keep them in place, and the rope that's keeping them on your head, right? You don't have to worry about them sliding down, right? They're never going to slide down. Even if they do slide down, they will kind of pop back up. It is a great thing that they don't really slide down or up on your nose, because you can wear them for a bunch of other activities, right? Any outdoor activities you can think of, like, you know, hiking, jumping, spike ball, rock climbing, all that kind of stuff. These would be perfect for, because again, they stay attached to your head. One other cool thing, even if you're kind of done with them, you can still keep them attached to yourself, right? Because all you do is you just loosen the rope in the back and you just put them down here on your neck, and that way, no matter what you do, they're still gonna stay on you. You don't have to find somewhere to put them where they can get scratched up or messed up or even lost, right? They're always up here on your neck, unless you're getting sweaty, you know, like sweating and hiking, all that kind of stuff. And then it gets a little bit annoying because you just want a little bit more ventilation around here. Or if you're wearing, like, you know, harder things like chains, they might, you know, kind of rub against that, and you might think that they will get scratched up. But other than that, they're perfectly fine here, and you can, you know, do whatever you want indoors. And once you're coming outside where you need sunglasses on, just put them up and spread those two little rubber pieces, and you're good to go. So now let's talk about this cool little guy. I wanted to mention it. This little attachment in the back, this is actually an accessory that I got for this pair, because this is actually my second pair. I had a previous pair before. It's exactly the same sunglasses, exactly the same style and size and everything. And the reason why I had to get a new pair is because I lost my pair. So how did that happen? Well, basically, these stay in your head very, very well if the activities that you're doing are not too crazy, right? So what I mean by is, like, you know, like river rafting, river tubing, pedal boarding, things like that. They're totally cool, totally good. Even minor jumping into the water, they're totally fine surviving that. But if you do really big high cliff jumps into the water, what happens is, even if you tighten them quite a bit, because I did tighten the previous pair quite a bit, what happened was they popped off my head completely, right? Because they're sitting on top of it, on top of my ears, and basically the water just kind of pushed them off my face completely, and it was done in quite a big river. I could not find them afterwards at all. So I noticed that recently they've put out this accessory that you basically attach to the rope. It kind of loops itself around the two ropes in the back, and it's made out of basically like a neoprene, a foamy material, and it's enough to make them float above the surface, right? So that is a nice addition. I wish that kind of came in the package originally, or I wish it would still come into the package with the, you know, now when you buy these, this does not come included. You have to pay separate for this, and it's quite expensive for a little, you know, like neoprene piece. Like this piece, I can't imagine this costing more than 20 cents to actually make, and they're selling it for I think like $25 or $35, something like that, which is insane. Yes, it's kind of cool. It attaches in a cool way. It's orange, so you can kind of see it in the water once they pop off. But no, like this should be a free accessory that comes with every single pair. It's a little bit strange that you have to pay extra for such a tiny little thing. So yeah, so basically they do stay on your head, but they don't stay on your head during really hardcore activities. And I know the marketing shows people hanging upside down and jumping into the water and things like that. Well, you know, I jumped into the water. It was not a super high cliff. It was about, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 feet. It really wasn't like too crazy. And they popped off my head easily, and I was not able to find them because as soon as I resurfaced back after the jump, they were completely gone. As no matter how much I like looked around and tried to find them, I could not find them at all. So this is a must, in my opinion, if you're doing some hardcore water activities. Other than that, the sunglasses are pretty comfortable, right? So that's like one of the biggest downsides, that they don't float and they're hard to find and they do pop off your head after some time. So a couple more negatives of these guys, or a couple things to keep in mind. The construction of them is completely plastic besides the rope, right? The frames are plastic and the lenses are plastic too. So you got to be careful to not scratch them, right? Because as we know, glass scratches much harder than plastic does. So you got to keep that in mind, and you got to baby them a little bit. I haven't had any problems with scratching them up, but again, that's because I baby them, so I wouldn't even want to try to scratch them and see how scratch resistant they are. I just try to keep them in pristine condition because they're also quite expensive for, you know, a pair of frames and a little rope attached to them. Yes, the idea is amazing and they work almost perfect, almost perfectly, but it's quite expensive sunglasses. Let's see, the other downside that I wanted to mention is that they do move a little bit here and there. And what I mean by is that they're obviously not moving down on up on your nose, but they are kind of moving a little side to side. So every time you would bump into something on, you know, like the rope or the glasses itself, they do kind of a little wiggle over your nose, and it does feel a little funny and a little weird, but it's not bad. At least they're not falling off your face like, you know, normal regular sunglasses would. So that's obviously a definite plus. One other interesting issue that I've noticed, because I've had the other pair for about a year and a half, something like that. So the issue that I noticed is that these little sliders, right, that slide over the rope, like this top rope is sliding inside this pretty small, pretty tight hole. Basically, after wearing them for quite a while, this rope, it does pick up some gunk and dirt inside of it, because it like acts like a little bit of a sponge, because it's very comfy to wear, right, which means it's squishy. And if it's squishy, which means it can suck up some stuff that you don't really want to have inside of it. So on the old pair, I wish I could show you, but I mean, I lost them. On the old pair, once you're adjusting this rope, and every time it's sliding through the hole, you can see some of the gunk being taken out of the rope and kind of squeezed out of it on the sides, on the edges, which is a little weird. It's probably like just sunscreen, right? Because that's what the rope usually comes in contact with, right? It's on your face. But yeah, it's not ideal, not the best, but it is what it is, right? That's like a downside of being able to quickly adjust these sunglasses to easily put them on and take them off your face. So that's not awesome. Let's see, the other problem that I had with these, and this again has to do with the design and the idea overall, is that when they're sitting on your face, right? Let me just put them on my face. When they're sitting on your face and you kind of adjust them the way, you know, the way you feel comfortable with them. If it's getting too hot and too sweaty, then you kind of need to readjust it, right? You basically need to pull on the arms so it goes down a little bit more, so that you have more ventilation going on around your eyes. And that could be a little bit annoying, especially when your hands are a little bit taken up by stuff, right? You're carrying things, right? You can't really adjust them as easily as these sunglasses, right? Because these sunglasses, you just need one arm to kind of quickly lower them or put them back up, right? With these ones, you can't really do that with one hand. You need two hands, and that's a little bit unfortunate. But it's just the downside of the design. Like, you can't really do anything about that. So let's see. I mean, these are amazing sunglasses. I definitely really love them, but they do have a little bit of room for improvement. And I'll start with one very quick improvement idea. You see this part over here on the rope? This part is like hard plastic, or I don't even know, or maybe it's made out of wood. I think it's plastic. And the thing that bothers me about this piece, even though it's not touching my face or anything, is when they go inside the case, right? This rope bends over the lenses, right? So it again introduced the possibility of this block scratching up the lens. I haven't had that happen at all yet, but it's just something unsettling for me about this little piece. I can't imagine why this piece can't be made out of silicone or something just soft, and something doesn't doesn't make me worry about scratching up the lenses on the inside. That's one thing that could be adjusted, could be improved on these. The other thing that really bothers me is the fact that I can't take this rope off at all, right? The way they're attached to the frame, I guess it's all about this plastic piece. That's where the secret is hidden of how this rope just goes into the loop, loops back, and gets attached inside of this block. And I understand that they're charging extra to figure out or to fix this rope if you break it or things like that, so it's a source of income for them. But I feel like there could be a much better other source of income where, first of all, you can take these off and you can just sell the rope itself without the need to have your sunglasses sent over so that they can get fixed up for a bigger amount of money and then sent back to the customer, right? If we can just do it ourselves with some clever design here, clever hook, clever mechanism, it would be way better. But okay, that's half the problem, right? The other problem is if you are able to take this off, then you can wash this, right? Because right now I don't want to put my whole sunglasses inside a washing machine. And it's also like really washing these kind of, hard under the water with some soap and everything makes it much easier for me to scratch up the lenses, which is something I don't want to do at all. So I got to be more careful with that. But the rope, if I took that off, I could easily throw that in the washing machine and not worry about anything really breaking here. So that would have been really nice. Another thing that could be a new revenue stream for these glasses is if you have different ropes, because right now they only offer this black basic rope. And we've seen like custom bracelets online with some like cool writings on the bracelets, or maybe it's like a slightly different design, like some kind of like weave pattern, or maybe it's just a different color, just like a plain different color, bright yellow or something like that, or even a fade, right? From here it could fade from like black color into white color as you go down the rope, right? That could be a nice revenue stream if these were designed as removable laces, right? That would be extremely nice and extremely awesome, because like you could definitely like I could see people customizing this and getting some cool robe that says like, I don't know, positive vibes on it or something like that, and black on white. And it also just creates really cool combinations when you have, like contrasting white rope with black frames or vice versa. Just makes it more personalized, more fun, and that's again an extra revenue stream, right? Like you could sell as a base pair the sunglasses and the rope, both black, let's say, but then you, for extra $35, instead of buying this stupid little thing, you can buy a white rope or like a color fading rope, and that would bring like a lot of fun to these sunglasses. It would make them look way more interesting and way more unique and personalized, right? So another thing that I would redesign is this little thing is just weird. It's just really weird. It's bulky. It's strange. If you lay down in the back of your head, just like you lay down on a blanket at the beach, this just feels weird. Yes, it's very soft and squishy, but it's just strange. Like, why not put much thinner material and put it around the lawn side, right? You have all this surface area to work with. Yes, you don't have all of it when you're making smaller or bigger, but you still have much more surface area here. Maybe just have like a little tube that kind of, like surrounds this string, making it a little bit thicker or something like that. There could also be different colors. You could also match, have different color frames, different color rope, different color tube. There's a lot of possibilities for customization of these little guys. You could even have different material for rope, right? You could have just basic rope. You could have maybe like plastic tube. If you don't want to get grime and dirt, soaked inside of it. There's lots of different ideas that are like right here. You just gotta try that out and see. Let's see, another cool idea that I had was with this case. This case, as I mentioned, it's pretty awesome, and it actually has a built-in secret. It has a microfiber cloth, which is really fun, really cool, really smart idea to kind of put it inside the case and attach it. But the way it's attached, it's completely sewn in. So, like what I do once this gets dirty, do I just throw the whole thing in the wash? What's going to happen to this guy? Is it going to wash nicely, or is it going to be all over the place? Because there's some padding in it, and I don't want to ruin that. But I obviously kind of want to wash this from time to time because it gets dirty once you keep wiping down your glasses. So I'm not really sure. I think they should make this detachable in some kind of way. And there's multiple ways like you can engineer that, but it just would be much nicer. The other thing is just like kind of like sticking it back inside is not the most ideal and user-friendly way, but that's maybe like a very tiny nitpick that doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, as I mentioned, this little bit would be nice to have it as silicone or the same material as this, because this is kind of soft. It's not super soft, but you can definitely feel that it's rubbery. So they even have the same stuff. Like they have it right here. Why not use it right here? I'm not sure. I don't really understand. One other thing that I was struggling with a lot when I was trying to figure out which pair to get, which could also be a good improvement, is basically let customers take the photo of their face and try out all these styles for themselves. Because right now they have different sizes for some frames. Like for example, Teton comes in regular and XL. And the way they tell you to measure your face is you basically take like a credit card and apply and like hold it by your nose and by your eye, trying to figure out which frames will fit you. Why? It's a very strange way of trying to figure out, and still it doesn't really give me an idea of what it would look like, because maybe sometimes maybe some people like to wear bigger glasses or smaller glasses. It really gives me no indication of what will fit me better. So why not let a user just upload their face, just like a simple selfie, where you position like the head, the eyes and all that kind of stuff, which is done in many different applications, and then you can try out the sunglasses to really see what is the difference between them all, right? You can try out not only different sizes, regular to XL, narrow, wide, all that kind of stuff. You can also try out different shapes and different styles, right? Because I just picked this one because it resembles more of Ray-Bans. So I just felt like, because I know what these look like on me, I felt like these would look better, or like it's more like a safe choice for me because I already know what these look like. So if there was an option to try that out before you buy the glasses, that would, I feel like, really help users to pick which style fits them better, right? They could try out that with different outfits. They could try out different frame colors. Same with, different rope colors in the future, maybe. But yeah, all of that would really help out picking which sunglasses to actually go for. But other than that, I do love these guys, and this is like the best implementation of outdoors sunglasses yet that I was able to find. Yes, they're quite pricey, but they really work nicely with a couple, little things that could be improved in the future. But other than that, they're awesome. I strongly suggest these, especially if you have any sales codes or if you wait till they have a sale. They're definitely a pair worth picking up. Yeah, thanks so much for sticking around for this review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.